In today's global economy, quality matters. Benjamin Franklin once quipped, "The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten." Quality Matters is here to talk about all things quality. So whether you're looking to improve your business, getting ready for an audit, or dealing with failed inspections, tune in, check us out, then get back to doing work that matters.
Hey everyone, I'm Darcy.
I'm Kyle.
Thanks for listening in with us as we talk about Quality Matters. We have a special episode for you today. Kyle and I attended our first day of the OTC conference. It's a special year. It's their golden anniversary, 50th anniversary. So we just walked around with our podcast equipment and asked people if they would like to talk to us. So we have a few snippets that I think we're going to piece together over the next few weeks. Yep. But for today's episode, we spent more time talking to DECRA.
It was a great interview.
It was really fun. And DECRA, for those who don't know, is a worldwide certifying body. Right?
That's correct.
Right. So we had the pleasure of speaking with 3 men.
Yes.
That work for DECRA. And I'm anxious for you guys to listen and hear what they had to say. Listen closely. You might be surprised by what you hear.
That's very true. Very true. Here at the OTC 2019, and we are talking with DECRA. We got 3 gentlemen here, kind of interesting stories, I think, so we're going to chat with them for a little bit. Let me just kind of go around and everyone introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Randy Spivey. I'm the Director of Sales for DECRA certification here in North America.
Awesome.
Zach Posse. I'm a project manager and lead auditor for DECRA certification.
Okay.
Kamal Sakri, Product Manager and Cluster Manager for DECRA certification.
All right. So, real quick, when you came over here, Zach, you've got an interesting title, right? So, what's your title?
Yeah, so I do the lead auditing for the explosion safety systems, which is quality system related, but adds on extra requirements for ISO 9001.
That's just really, really kind of interesting. You're saying that when you go to like airports and whatnot, that you don't usually tell them exactly what you do.
Yeah. Usually just leave it at I'm traveling for auditing when I go through customs.
All right. So, Randy, tell me a little bit, you see what sells for DECRA. So, what all is it that DECRA does? Obviously, I've done some work with DECRA myself. I know a little bit, but tell me a little bit more about what you'll do.
So, DECRA Worldwide is a 90-year-old company, headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany. We have a number of different business units, over 40,000 employees. Probably what we're best known for, especially in Europe, is our automotive business. But we do everything that we're involved in. It has to do with test and certification. For the 3 of us, we're involved in the test and certification, providing third-party testing for manufacturers of products that are used in hazardous locations.
Very cool. Very cool. So, how was the work y'all do? Maybe like I'm a 9001 auditor for DECRA, about as bland and generic as you can get. So what is it that y'all do that's a little different?
So I'll let Zach elaborate a little bit, but one of the things that we offer is a quality certification, again, for those folks that are manufacturing in hazardous locations. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, it's 9001 on steroids. Okay. So Zach.
Yeah. So the main auditing stuff that we do for the explosion safety is in Europe for the ATEX directive. It's a legal requirement in Europe for companies to have third-party certification for products used in hazardous areas or explosive atmospheres. And as part of that certification, they need a certified quality system. The standard that we use is IEC ISO 80079-34.
That's a mouthful.
The second edition, which was just released last year, actually takes all the text from 9001, but various clauses adds extra requirements and a few annexes for particular protection types for those explosion safety devices.
Okay. Now, a lot of the folks that listen to the podcast here are more familiar with the traditional type oil and gas work. So this is similar to the way API handles like the Q2 standard, the design standards.
Yeah, it's similar. So each product has different protection types that might be applied, and those each have their own standards. So it might be protection by enclosure that's rated to contain an explosion, or it might be that the electronics are designed in such a way that they don't have enough energy to cause a spark or ignition that would ignite whatever atmosphere that the device is in.
Okay, well, I've kind of dealt with this once before. We had a abrasive blasting booth. You have to ensure that you have explosive-proof lighting in there. So
Yep.
I think these are the type of things
That's
we're
exactly
looking
the
at.
type of products.
Okay, just to get some context. So, what are some of the applications of the products that you certify?
It's really wide-ranging. It can be a motor that gets used somewhere. So some of the big motors that you've seen walking around, some of those would be explosion safety rated.
Really?
A lot of the instrumentation for pressure, temperature, level get certified. There's
Heat tracing cable on pipelines, any type of measurement equipment.
So there's probably a lot of design specs that we have to be
Yeah.
aware of. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
So, and as you can tell by our poster, there's stuff kind of all around the world, and each country has kind of developed their own slightly different requirements. So,
Oh, really?
there's some international standards that apply to everything, but
And
each
they're still
country
the
has
same.
some of their own unique things. So, you can't directly go from one country to the other like with 9001. You have a little bit of unique
Okay.
differences.
Okay. Well, that could definitely add some complexities into the work
Definitely.
you do.
It definitely does.
Okay. So, just as a little bit of information for kind of anyone listening. So, when someone goes to get certified, what's that process look like? What's that look like for them when they say we're ready to get this product certified? How's that go?
Oh, well, it can be quite complex. So usually we like to check to see, what the client's experience level is in the type of protection they're going for. If they're not very familiar with it, we'll usually suggest a kind of a preliminary design review project just to review and give them some feedback on if they're heading in the right direction before they get too far into it,
Okay.
especially in a design before they
Right.
build anything. If everything kind of checks out okay, then put a basic quote together based on what they're looking for, and then come up with a test plan and sample requirements.
Okay.
And then it's just kind of going through the design and analyzing it, making sure that all the specs line up with the requirements, performing the tests.
Kind of similar to the traditional stage 1, stage 2 review, but it sounds like a little more detailed.
Yeah, more specific to based on what protections involved.
Yeah, so it's in addition to the normal ISO 9001 requirements, because there's actual products involved. It's like the stage 1, stage 2 audit is for the quality system, which we still follow that same process.
Okay.
But they have to also have a product certificate.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of parallel paths for the auditing of the manufacturing site where they're going to build them, and then also checking the design of the actual product.
Sure.
And then as those are finishing during the audits, we're making sure that what they're making is actually meeting what that certificate included for the design. So that goes above and
You're
beyond
kind of
what the
involved in the
9001
whole design
Exactly.
process, all the way
Yep.
through the verification
Exactly.
and validation.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that's interesting. So when folks go to get certified, when they're doing the product design along with the management system, do you do those totally parallel, or could it be we do one and then we come back and do the? How's that operate?
I think it's usually, I know the audit, typically they don't want to take place until the product has been kind of tested and is shown to pass a lot of the stuff. That way you don't have to go back in the event something has changed.
Makes
so
sense.
they're kind of parallel passing away, but maybe staggered in terms of when they start.
Okay, that makes sense. What are some of the problems that you'll run into with these different product designs and things that might hamper the process that maybe folks should look out for?
Well, in many cases, we're in the new product introduction phase, and so just the fact of getting samples of the new product, because we have testing is a component of the overall assessment, and so they have a design, and we're going through the initial assessment, But then we move into the testing phase, and we're going to have a handful of samples. So getting those few samples available to us once is one thing, but the second is they're sometimes the very first samples off of a new design, and so we go through the testing only to find out they're not quite as robust as what they need to be. So we're delayed by waiting for a second round of samples.
Now, I have, in my experience with consultation work, I run into cases where folks do the design and development, and then they want to start selling it and having the customer test it out as a part of their validation phase. I guess there's ways you can finagle it sometimes, but do y'all ever run into cases like that where folks are trying to push this out before you've approved the design?
They definitely try to, the sales and marketing people. It doesn't really work because they can't sell it into an area that's going to be rated for hazardous or explosive atmosphere area without the certificate. So they have to kind of design for that up front.
Okay.
So they can definitely sell it to areas that aren't an explosive atmosphere ahead of time. But they may end up having to make changes to the products in order to get the certificate. And so it kind of depends on what they want, or if they want to have a separate product line that's rated for the hazardous area.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. I meant to ask this earlier, but what are some other examples of environments that these types of equipment? I know it's a lot of types of equipment where they might operate. What are the hazardous environments that we're talking about?
So it's anything that's gases, vapors, or dusts.
That's a lot.
And there's a variety of different ratings. So it could be anything from flyings, like in a textile mill where they're making cloth or string.
Mm-hmm.
It could be sugar, flour, and on the dust side, coal dust. Chemical processing. It could be oil platform. It could be a chemical plant. Yeah, it's quite a variety. Even the gas pumps are a Division 2 area. So
really?
Your gas station. You have all the monitors and screens and everything.
Mm-hmm.
No smoking signs. Don't.
So I had a gentleman stop by earlier today that was from Norway, and they're looking at using hydrogen in their automobiles.
Right.
And so he wants to have our company inspect the different hydrogen storage facilities that they're going to have in place.
That makes sense.
Because obviously that's very explosive.
Right.
And it would also be the tanks on the cars storing them would be as well. Okay.
That's interesting.
Ship side.
Yeah. And see, this is what I think we didn't catch it on mic. We were talking earlier. Is what we try to do with the podcast is really help educate folks about how many areas of the world and of their life that quality really impacts what they do. And so, we're looking at virtually any industry. The niche area that you guys operate in, it could be applicable.
Yeah.
And so when you start talking about that one niche area is applicable everywhere, the fact is that quality really matters, and the work we do and in the lives we live today are the result of people taking this process approach, examining risk, and working through it. Before we wrap up here, anyone got any final comments?
I have a question. Kyle's still on the mic from me at the OTC conference. So, as I've mentioned before, I'm not a quality person, so I like to ask the fun questions. Kyle is very geeky about quality, and I'm always curious how other people got into quality. I know how he got there, so I want to know how each of you got into this business, I guess.
Good question.
So my background has always been in electronics. I started off in the semiconductor industry on the packaging side and moved over to reliability tests, and have been here ever since. I really enjoy being in an environment where you're on the critical path of new product introduction, and that's certainly what this is.
Very cool.
From mechanical engineering in school, I kind of fell into product certification my first job, and that kind of led me into helping out with a lot of the auditing and stuff related to the explosion safety stuff, and that's kind of led to this.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, kind of the same in mechanical engineering. And out of school, the first job I got was at UL. So just kind of the product safety industry has just been interesting, the variety of all kinds of stuff to deal with. So just been going strong since. So.
Yeah, very cool. I haven't yet found a single person that's in the quality world that, as a child said, this is what I want to do.
Right.
I've talked to, I don't know how many people know, we asked the question, I was like, no one sets out to be in quality as a kid.
Yeah.
My dream was building robots for NASA. Didn't quite make it. But, so it's always kind of fun. But to me, it's such a rewarding area to work in because you can really see the areas that this has an impact in. And so it's been a lot of fun for me. It sounds like y'all really enjoy what you do as well. So anyone, before we finish here, any fun or crazy stories that you've had, or maybe audits where just stuff blew your mind what you found?
Some of the some of the places going in to do the audit, just the size and scale of some of the equipment that they're making, that's especially related to the offshore stuff like we're here today. They have the things where they're connecting the ships to, and it's just like a 1.5 foot cable to connect the power for these ships and stuff. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then some of the stuff I've been learning about for new areas where the explosion safety is going to be critical, where they keep processing and have made legalizing marijuana, and they're processing and extracting. Those are actually extremely flammable and explosive processes. So there's a lot of safety and quality concerns in that area, which you wouldn't really think about.
No, you wouldn't. That's very, very interesting. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the time talking to you. It's been great, and hope to hear from you all soon.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the interview with Dekra as much as we enjoyed talking to them.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a blast.
A blast! Explosion testing. So, hey, we're still at the OTC conference this week. This episode's going to be released Tuesday morning.
Yeah, this will be live very soon.
And we'll be there on Tuesday. We're taking a break on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then we'll be back on Thursday. So if you're there at OTC, find us. You can text us, call us, find us on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Message us, email us. There's numerous ways to get a hold of us. Darcy Chambers, Kyle Chambers. Find us on LinkedIn. Send us a message. We'd love to come talk to you.
Absolutely. And I'll leave our emails in the show notes.
Sounds great. All right. We hope to see you there.
Thank you.